Welcome to another edition of Inside Northeast Racing, as we'll do a little tweaking and tuning and get your engines tuned and ready to go for another rundown of some of the action that took place this past weekend. Here's something for you. Can you guess who's behind the wheel? Take a good look. We'll give you another clue a little bit later. See if you can figure out who's behind the wheel. Something to toy around here today. Well, the weatherman took the Sunday night racing out at the Orange County Fair Speedway, along with the Saturday night as far as that goes. But it was Monday racing down on the hard clay where the World of Outlaws, the greatest show on dirt, made a trip into the Orange County Fair Speedway. Here's the legend himself, Sammy Swindell, turning some fast laps. And we'll take a look at some of the action over the past weekend here at the Glen Ridge Motorsports Park. Their modified main event going green. Green flag for the feature here for the Glen Ridge Modifieds. Zach Graham and the 228 leading the field down to green here. They come around to put lap number 1 on the board. Some great three-wide racing. Always close quarter racing up here. Here's Graham trying to hold off Elmo Reckner, as Reckner will take the long way around off of turn number 2. Elmo Reckner, one of the competitors up at the Ridge on Friday nights. Late stages of that event on Friday evening. Here's the final lap around. It would be a first-time winner. Rocky the Flying Squirrel. Rocky Warner picks up the win. Congratulations to Rocky. Elmo Reckner would come home second with Bobby Varon third, Zach Graham fourth, and Craig Hansen fifth. Going to be a big one. Hope you plan on being at Gene Cole's Utica Rome Speedway this coming weekend. Here we take a trip back up to the great race place, Albany Saratoga Speedway on Friday night. Modified action taking the green at Albany Saratoga. Rich Ronca would scoot out to the early lead. And Ronca leads the way around here off of turn number 4. In command, Justin Bowler riding there in the runner-up position. But the man on the move, making the move early. The guy who took a barrel roll, a very, very wild barrel roll a week ago down the backstretch, literally destroying the race car. Coming back with a brand new car from stem to stern. Ronnie Johnson flexing his muscles. Here's some great three-way action back here, side by side by side. They race down here into turn number 1. Ronnie Johnson here in the late stages had to hold off a challenge by the Canadian sensation, Stuart Friesen. Friesen trying to get a run on RJ, but it was going to be Ronnie Johnson from Wreckers to pick up the win as RJ gets the victory. Stuart Friesen would settle for second. Matt DiLorenzo was third. Mark Kislowski fourth, and Mark Johnson rounding out your top 5. Speaking once again about Gene Cole's Utica Rome Speedway, of course, the Sunday night place to be. Sunday night racing out at the Utica Rome Speedway. This past Sunday, you see the cars all lined up, ready to come down for the green here. Their pace laps. Track once again coming up super fast and super smooth. Track crew's really doing a great job here at Utica Rome in 2013 to provide what has been a very, very racy surface. Getting a good look at the field here as we pan up towards the front. Getting ready to go green, Darwin Green would set the pace. Adam Roberts sitting outside of him there as they make their way down to the green. Green flag is out. And underway as they make their way down here to turn number 1 to bring the Utica Rome Modified main underway. Side by side they race down the backstretch. The 63 of Roberts, your leader. Here working down off of turn number 2. Darwin Green continuing to push the issue. And then it was another number 1 car. Casey Williams with the number 1 down into turn number 1, using the outside lane as well as they work up off of turn number 2. You can see the multiple grooves of racing as they work down through the corner here. A couple of cars starting to make their presence known. Keep an eye on the number 1 of Stuart Friesen as Friesen flexing his muscles, coming up through the field there with Jimmy Davis with the 41. Here was Williams working up on the outside, and down low comes the 9S car of Matt Shepard. And Shepard looking to pick up the victory here this past Sunday night, and you could see he was going to race and race tough for it. Meanwhile, back to some side-by-side action back through the field once again. The bars were banging and clicking and clanging as they come down off of turn number 4 here. Stuart Friesen closing in on what was your leader, the 9S of Matt Shepard. Then, game on. From here on in, Stuart Friesen and Matt Shepard changed the lead. Flip-flop positions, flip-flop lanes, went side by side. They continue to race that way. Here's Friesen on the inside, Shepard on the outside. The crossover move off of turn number 4. Stuart Friesen looking to bring him home. But Matt Shepard was going to be strong to the challenge as they continue to duke and dice it out. Matt Shepard comes down to pick up the win with Stuart Friesen finishing 2nd. Willie Decker finishing 3rd, Dale Plank 4th, and Mike Mahaney rounding out your top 5.
Hello, I'm Jessica Ricky from Outlaws Speedway. Thanks for watching Inside Northeast Racing.
Oh, we gave you a clue. The answer? The young one, Tyler Dipple, climbing behind the wheel of a sprint car here just to try it out. I'd like to thank our sponsors, DM Bath and Kitchens, Jack Brown's Jack's Used Race Car Parts and more. And while we're talking about Jackie Brown, we'll go down to his Friday night home, the Accord Speedway. Accord this past Friday night, Gary Palmer's Ulster County Bull Ring. Some great side-by-side racing down there. They've had great competition right from the drop of the green on opening night here in 2013, and this past Friday night would be no different. Here in the early going, getting up on the front there, the 55 of Jerry Higbee aboard the Gary Mann number 55 car. Here's Jackie Brown with the number 6X car. Jackie Brown digging down to the inside here. Some great side-by-side racing here. More side-by-side racing, wheel-to-wheel. Andy Bacchetti and Kenny Boniface going at it. But up front, it was Jerry Higbee showing the way. Bacchetti trying to get to him here. We see some more side-by-side action as they work their way down here off of turn number 4. Here's Danny Creedon with the number 11, and now the 69 of Kenny Boniface up to the outside of him. Last week's winner, Jeff Hetzler, also in the mix. Some great competition down at the Accord Speedway this past Friday evening. Here's Hetzler working the inside of Creedon. Jackie Brown working the inside of Boniface with the 33 and a third of Tommy Meyer joining the fray there to make it a three-way battle. Danny Tyler just behind with the red 22 car. And this one, Andy Bacchetti, once he broke free, trying to run down your leader, Jerry Higbee. Higbee out front with the Gary Mann's number 55, the New York Truck Parts Special. He would not be denied this past Friday night as the 55 of Higbee would bring it around here. Higbee, the first one to see the checkered flag. Andy Bacchetti would finish 2nd. Last week's winner, Jeff Hetzler, was 3rd. Danny Creedon, 4th, and Jackie Brown Jr. rounded out the top 5. Okay. And it's time for our NISCA Weekly Winners segment. On behalf of the New York State Stock Car Association, NISCA, we'd like to congratulate this week's weekly winners across the region. We start at Accord with Mike Du Bois. Tommy Vasta, Nick Johnson, Jerry Higby, Matt Curry. At Utica Rome, it was Pete Stefanski, Matt Shepard, Jeremy Vunk, and Ron Hawker. At Glen Ridge Motorsports Park, it was Rob Van Arnhem, Shane Playford, Cody Clark, first-time modified winner Rocky Warner, Corey Wilder, Billy Jaycox in the 305 sprints, and the Lightning sprints, Doug Norrie. At Albany Saratoga, it was Rob Yetman, Ronnie Johnson, Derek McGrew, Ken Conroy, and Connor Cleveland. At Lebanon Valley Speedway, it was Sean Perez, Jay Casey, Ray Hall Sr., Andy Bacchetti, Jay Corbin, and Tyler Dipple. Sunday night action at Orange County, World of Outlaws Sprint Car winner Craig Kinzer, Anthony Perego, and Joel Mearns. That are our weekly winners. On behalf of NISCA, the New York State Stock Car Association would like to congratulate the winners of the 11th annual NISCA golf outing, the PMC Fabrication Foursome. There's a couple shots of the golf outing from the New York State Stock Car Association. We thank NISCA. We go down to the Orange County Fair Speedway for this past weekend's Sportsman action. Sportsman action on the hard clay. As the green flag coming out here, Frank Venezia with the 27, bringing the field down. As you can see, the field now starting to separate as they work their way down the backstretch. Venezia, your early leader. The 83 of Chris Stevens up there with him. Car on the move is the number 18 of Anthony Perego here in the early going, making his way by the Stevens machine. Hang on, upside down goes Brian Crummell, as Crummell has the disappointing end to his night. Back to green flag action, here we go. Working down the backstretch here. Keep an eye on Tyler Dipple, he's been one to watch. Here's one to keep your eye on, the second generation driver, the 19 car there. Second generation competitor, Tyler McKee, if the name sounds familiar. Of course, Chuck McKee, multi-time champion down on the hard clay. Back underway as they make their way down the backstretch. Perego out front. Here's a great three-way battle as they work their way down the backstretch. Some great side-by-side action there. Again, the 83 of Stevens, the number 1 of Tyler Dipple, and right in a gang of cars there now. L.J. Lombardo's number 35, the 3 of Danny Cronk, as we are going through turns 1 and 2 here. Stepping off the backstretch down here into turn number 3, things start to get interesting. The 66 car, Scott Flammer behind the wheel. Here's a great three-way battle again. Your early leader, Venezia, right there in the battle. The 1 of Dipple trying to advance his position. This in the latter stages of the event as they step down off of turn number 4. Tyler Dipple. Up front, while all that racing action was going on, the number 18 of Anthony Perego would double up on the weekend. Friday night's winner at Accord. Also picks up the win at Orange County Fair Speedway. He's a jubilant Perego in victory lane. R.J. Smith would finish second. Tyler Dipple finished third. Tyler Boniface was fourth. And rounding out your top 5 was Frank Venezia. Now we go to the Fonda Speedway. Modified action, seeing green. Green flag is out as they make their way down into turn number 1 for the first time. Stepping off at turn number 2, Todd Morey's number 2 and Josh Flint's 41 led the field to green. There's Dave Lape, the legend, up there in the midst with him. That's Flint up on the outside there, racing for the second position with Dave Lape. Enter the fray, the 17 of Elmo Reckner. Reckner will go by Lape and now set sights on Josh Flint. They race off at turn number 2. Here's a little later in the event as they come down here. The black car, the T-Rex Express of Danny Varon, was one to watch. Here's some great three-way action. Jimmy Davis on the inside, Stuart Friesen on the outside. They go high and low on Elmo Reckner and now set sights on the 41 of Josh Flint. The 93 of Danny Varon, fast this past Saturday night. Up on the front, the Ed Munger-owned automobile. Here comes Stuart Friesen. And you knew Stuart Friesen was going to have something to say about this one. Up on the point here, he goes into turn number 1, way up on the outside, almost all the way to the wall. Danny Varon down on the inside, going to pull away, going to put a couple car lengths between the two. As they go down into turn number 3, however, Friesen tries that outside lane, found something up top to pull almost even with him down off the corner. As they come down to the white flag here, Danny Varon sees the checkers fly for Danny Varon. He gets the win over Stuart Friesen. Jeff Trombley was 3rd, Jimmy Davis 4th, and Matt DiLorenzo rounded out your top 5 at Fonda Saturday night. And as always, we like to thank our sponsors, Gene Cole's Utica Rome Speedway, instrumental in putting this program on weekly, as is the New York State Stock Car Association, NISCA, Jack's Used Race Car Parts and more, our friend Jackie Brown, DM Bath and Kitchen, Northeast Racing Videos, and Bobco Racing Video as well. Inside Northeast Racing is a Northeast Racing Videos production, your 24/7 racing connection on the World Wide Web. Until next week, this is Dan Martin saying, see ya.